Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Good morning, Bix Weir, Rotor.com with your morning horn disease, your sip of chaga coffee. It is a crazy freaking world. Awesome time last night. First of the road show. As you can tell, my voice is a little hoarse. A lot of Q&A and really smart questions. Really gives me a lot of hope when you get smart questions out here on the road, because people are learning, they're waking up, and I hope everybody, first of all, thank you for coming last night if you came, and catch us on the road. If we're coming anywhere near you, there were people making 4-hour drives for this one, and that was just awesome. Great time. I hope everybody had fun. I sure had fun. Most of it was Q&A this time. And then I threw in a bunch of music here and there. Somebody requested Freebird, so I'm like, I think I remember it, and did like half of it. Obviously, I can't do the amazing guitar solos and jam like they do in that song. But it was a great time, and a lot of information was spread to and from. I learn a lot by doing these things as well. And a lot of people worried about the end of the system, and more, what's going to happen after the system crashes. Pretty much everybody in the room knows the system's going to crash. The question is, what are we going to do afterwards? And that's been the question for over 100 years. And that's why there's 65 questions in the Road to Ruta guidebook. The teacher's guide for the comic Wishes and Rainbows from the Fed has 65 unanswered questions in it that we're all going to have to face all those questions. For example, should we go to silver and gold to use as money when the old system crashes? I don't know. It's in our Constitution, and then who's going to mine the gold? Should we have private companies do it? Should the government do it? Should the government open up all the BLM land for private enterprises to mine, or private individuals to mine? There's so many questions. And then obviously now with cryptocurrencies, it's like, should we use cryptocurrencies? I am a big advocate of using whatever the hell you want. Let's just get government out of the money business. The government can collect taxes and whatever they want. They can. I don't have a problem with a CBDC, central bank digital currency, but it'll be hugely hyperinflationary unless you get rid of the old currency. So they haven't explained that one. When you add more money to a current monetary system, you're hyperinflating everything. And if they want to declare that a CBDC is more valuable than the electronic U.S. dollar that we have today, who gets to declare that? And who's going to believe these guys? I don't think the bankers are going to be the ones choosing our next system. Most likely in the United States, it's going to go back to the Constitution. If you go back to the Constitution, there's no need for deciders. It doesn't matter. It's gold and silver. That's it. Sorry. If someone wants to decide something else, it's not going to be the bankers. It's not going to be the politicians that screwed everything up to this point. That's my take, though. That's what we talk about on the road. So please come out. Our wheels up at 10 o'clock this morning. 2-day drive over to St. Louis. Salt Lake City. I'm way ahead of myself. Salt Lake City on Wednesday night. We will be at, if you go to the Road to Ruta website, you can get tickets. Click on Roadshow and then scroll down to Salt Lake City right here. On the 20th, we will be at a bar called the Brickyard Bar. It looks pretty cool. And it's dog friendly, so bring your dog. Buddy wants to meet your dog. And yeah, come on by. There's a lot of dogs there last night. It's awesome. Great crowd. Great fun at the Real and Brand in Sonoma. And now we're off to Salt Lake City. Come meet us there. What's that saying? Out of the frying pan into the fire. It's pretty hot here in Sonoma, but where we're headed on this map, look, it's bright red. We're talking, I was looking at the locations we're going. The temperatures are going to be 95 to 105 degrees. And I don't even know what Oklahoma City and Dallas are going to be, but right now it's looking like 108 in Dallas. We're playing in Austin, and so that's going to be a little even hotter, I think. It's going to be crazy, the heat-wise. We did get the air conditioner working, thank God, in the RV, and we have the backup. Because it's a small RV, I can just keep it running and blow the car air conditioning if need be. But we got the AC unit working. barely. We jerry-rigged it so it does work. And then Paige and Josh have their RV, and we are just going. We understand that it is a crazy time to travel, mainly because of this oil and gas prices. So Joe Biden, and we talked about this, Joe Biden headed to Saudi Arabia to bribe them into giving more oil to the market. Complete failure. I knew it was going to be a failure. Why? Because the good guys want to destroy any semblance of the US dollar. We are headed to $15 gas by September. $15 a gallon. The price of oil isn't really, because oil has fallen over the last couple of days because someone clicked the mouse at the controller spot of the price of oil. It has fallen, but it didn't change the price of gasoline, because the problem is at the manufacturing of the gasoline. You take the oil and then you make all the little pieces and parts from oil. Natural gas, butane, heating oil, gasoline, diesel, all that stuff. And there's just not the refining capacity necessary for increases. Sorry, Joe. When you come into office saying you're going to destroy the petro everything, you're going to destroy oil, you're going to go everything's going to be solar panels and shit like that, you are going to pay the price. And when you pay the price as the president of the United States, your entire country pays the price. The entire world pays the price. This guy needs to go, but hey, I can't say that on YouTube because I'm censored. Yes, it is 100% legal to censor today in the United States of America, and that's what they do. So there's a ton I can't say. I can say it at the roadshow, and we did. We went there at the roadshow. So get yourself out to a roadshow. Biden's Saudi trip yields little. Distillate seasonality takes center stage. Biden's trip to the Middle East has concluded. Conflicting headlines followed, providing little clarity of the next step. Yeah, where's the COVID distancing? Anyway, here's the summary. Great summary. You know, people are asked questions on the U.S. side and the Saudi side. Listen to these three topics that are the answers are completely different from either side. Number one, how did the discussions go? Biden said, I had an excellent discussion about securing global energy security and adequate oil supplies. The Saudi minister said there was no discussion of oil production in the Jeddah summit. Completely opposite. Number two, do both parties appear to be on the same page diplomatically? Biden, I anticipate that Saudi Arabia will take further energy-related moves in the coming weeks. Saudi Prince Mohammed, adoption of unrealistic policies regarding energy sources will lead to inflation. Oh, duh. The Saudis know massively more than our idiotic president and his consultants. It's just embarrassing. Number three, were the Saudis easily persuaded to increase oil production? White House advisor Bernstein, there is room for Gulf producers to increase supply. Saudi foreign minister, OPEC will continue to monitor market conditions and do what is necessary, and that we are consistent in communication with the U.S. about that. So basically, he went over there knowing. I mean, I showed a video last week of Macron, the president of France, telling Joe Biden, I talked to my Saudi counterparts and they got nothing to do. It's a waste of time for you to go to Saudi Arabia. And we found it. It's exactly what happened. And then Joe makes a fool of himself just every 2 minutes. Look at him. He's just wandering around confused. Having a hard time walking these days, too. Have you noticed that? So yeah, it's not good. Poor Joe. And then they go through the oil charts. Oil prices have jumped on that news. Again, let's take a look at the 1 year prices. Now, by the way, in the Road to Rooted discussion at the live show, we go through some of the disconnects between CPI, the inflation rate at 9.1%, and all the components that make up CPI. And basically, our government is lying to us about inflation. We know that. John Williams of StatOstats has inflation like 18%. And that's just the way they used to measure it. They changed all that when Clinton came in. But yes, oil is higher and will keep going higher. Ultimately to destroy the economic system, destroy your bank account, but don't blame oil, blame the criminal bankers, blame the $5 trillion printed by the Fed since COVID started. Crazy. I mean, if you were to tell someone 20 years ago that we'd have debt's over $30 trillion, and that's not even counting most of the debt the United States have. I don't know the total number now, and it's fake anyway, so it might not matter all that much. A lot of money is just created and not told to anybody and just given out to the secret government programs. For example, the Space Force. And you guys know I have night vision goggles. I see things flying around in the sky all the time. When we're out in the middle of nowhere driving around, it's great night watching of the little, ships or whatever you want to call them flying around at night. You don't see it every night. There's got to be some kind of cloaking device, because some nights I'll go out and I'll see literally dozens of flying craft way in the upper atmosphere, squadrons, as a matter of fact. And then some nights I go out and see maybe a couple satellites. It's easy to tell the difference between a satellite and a spaceship. They both look like little dots. Sometimes you see the triangle craft, but when a dot goes like this, it's probably a satellite, constant motion. When a dot goes like this and then turns and goes like that and then shoots off that way, that is intelligently controlled. Yes, I don't have like ultra telescopic night vision goggles. Who knows how much we can see. But some nights you don't see anything. Some nights you see dozens and dozens of squadrons. I remember one night with Toby, we were out in the backyard. We were out there for an hour and a half. There was every time we looked up in the sky, we'd see literally squadrons of 5 to 10 craft flying around, way beyond anything we can see as the source of airplanes. And airplanes are so easy to see with the night vision goggles. The thing's way up there. It's harder to see, and you really do need the night vision. But hey, that's a conspiracy site. So keep an eye on oil. Yes, oil's controlled with a click of a mouse. They can put oil at minus $40 tomorrow if they want. It's a click of a mouse. All these exchanges. That's the biggest thing we need to get out there is get out of these exchanges. Get out of the stock market, the bond market. Get away from anything with third-party risk. Anything. Because all the markets are rigged. And when they're ready, when they're done with this whole system, when the largest debtor nation in the world doesn't want to pay off its debt, you click a mouse and poof, it's all gone. Your checking account, your savings account, your life savings, the work you put in your whole life will be gone, disappeared. Get yourself physical silver in your own possession. If you have gold, swap it for physical silver. Not that gold's bad. There's just so much more of it than you've been told. You've been told there's 200,000, 220,000 tons that have ever been mined in the history of humanity. That's the biggest piece of bullshit you'll ever hear in your life. There's millions of tons of gold. My guess is 3 to 4 million, but I don't think tons, that is. So that's 10x, 15x the amount of that they tell you. And a lot of that gold is locked up in the United States, in the Grand Canyon, in California. Dianne Feinstein has locked up so much gold in Southern California. 41% of the land in California is owned by the federal government. 41%. Good luck breaking free from the United States as a breakaway state, because California, you would lose, what was that? 41%, 42% these days of your land. No way the federal government's going to give up all the gold at Chocolate Mountain or in the National Desert Wildlife Preserve. Let's cordon off these millions and millions of acres in Southern California for the federal government to save the black-spotted toad or whatever Dianne Feinstein argued. Basically, it was a land grab and very, very, very rich land in gold. But that's all got to come out when we go back to gold and silver standard. It doesn't even have to be declared. We could just say, all right, what do we have? We don't have politicians. They'll all be gone. We don't have bankers. They'll all be gone when the system falls apart. What do we have? We have gold and silver in the ground. So get your picks and shovels ready. You don't want it in the hands of this land in the hands of too big a corporation. My take is, hey, let individuals go out there with their pick and shovel and work hard for a day's labor and come back with a hell of a lot of gold. And all the secret caves and caverns all over the southern United States the Spanish hid so much gold. Remember, they didn't have bank vaults and all that back then when we were finding all this gold in the 1800s and finding these hidden caverns. And Egyptian, that's so funny. The Egyptians didn't build the pyramids. We can't build those today with our machinery. We can't build Machu Picchu taking these rocks from a quarry 5 miles away and bring it up a mountain and create these amazing, massive megaliths. So we need to figure out history as well. Who did it, and how did they do it, and why did they do it? Clearly, they stand the test of time because there's been a lot of cataclysms on our planet, and that's one of the things people don't want people to know about. Certain people. The Smithsonian hides so much. Oh my God. If you guys didn't know the Kincaid's cave story about the Egyptian cave within the Grand Canyon, completely true. We've done remote viewings on it. But the Smithsonian can't find anybody named G.E. Kincaid that worked for the Smithsonian. That was the guy who was in charge of, in the early 1900s, of excavating this amazing find. And it was created by the Ant people, according to the Native Americans of the time. And yeah, it's all true. That's the amazing thing, is a lot of the stories and histories and myths of certain tribes and things like that. Most of it is based off truth. There have been cataclysms. Entire human civilizations have been wiped off the planet. We talk about it today. A solar flare would take everything out on the side of the sun side of the earth that faces the sun during that flare. Electrical discharges between planets. That's what created the Grand Canyon and Valles Marineris on Mars. And it came from the sun. It was a huge electrical discharge, three-way. Amazing stuff. No, the Grand Canyon wasn't formed by a lazy river meandering down and carving these amazing 1 mile deep rocks walls. That's not how a river works. And then where's all the crap that washed away? Where's all the crap at the bottom of the Grand Canyon? Why is it empty? So yeah, crazy stuff, crazy times. A lot of revelations need to come out, and we're getting there. We are getting there. Big thing about oil, Gazprom, which is Russia's big gas company, reportedly declared force majeure. Will halt gas flows to Germany indefinitely. This has been like the oil people. Oh man, if Russia ever turned off the gas for Europe would be destroyed instantly. They did it already in June. They sent letters out saying, force majeure, sorry, we're not going to give you any more gas. The stupidity of the leaders, the rulers of the EU, to try to sanction Russia into stopping the Ukraine invasion, basically invading to take out a bunch of bad things going on, but we can't talk about that. As if Russia wouldn't retaliate. And that's the amazing thing, is all of Europe is 100% dependent upon Russian oil and gas, especially natural gas. So, my friends, if you live in Europe, get the hell out. I think they want you to get out. I think now they're experiencing a heat wave right now. Just wait till the ice age comes in and freezes all of Europe, and what are you going to do? You have no gas to heat your homes. It's a tough time for humanity. I think most of Europe will be migrating south. A lot have already started. Go check out Jeff Berwick down in Anarchapulco. There's a great mini-series going on HBO about the Anarchapulco stuff. The first one has already been posted. All the ultra anarchy people are saying, oh, that's not anarchy, because everybody got rich off cryptos. That's pseudo anarchy. And Jeff was just laughing about it. Say, these people are crazy. People are just crazy right now, any way you slice it. If you have division between members of a society, you're not going to have the people coming together and make great things happen. In the United States, they divide us between the left and the right. Democrats and Republicans, ideology against ideology. And I'm a big thing we talk about on the road shows. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Libertarian. I'm nothing. I'm an American. And everybody in the room in California agreed. They're like, oh my God, it's so true. You can believe what you want, but you better believe in your country, because that's all you got. I love my country. I'll play that on Wednesday night. A song called I Was One. Forgot the name of it. It's a Little Steven song, but it's a great song. And what was it called? Shit. And the river opens for the righteous. Anyway, you got to come Wednesday. I'll play it for you, I promise. Um, China is imploding. China has stopped paying mortgages. The Chinese government and the banks are crashing. They're locking people out of their checking account, savings account. They can't get their money. That's how it happens. People have stopped paying on their mortgages because of Evergrande. I told you Evergrande would be a huge thing. And now other companies just like Evergrande are starting to stop projects altogether. The banks are finding it harder to lend. So people have to go to local places where they charge 30% interest, 40% interest, crazy numbers. China is imploding. It won't take much longer. I would say weeks before China does something drastic. Now, what the U.S. does when things like this happen is they flood money everywhere. China will probably do that and continue to do that and keep playing the game. As long as the U.S. is allowing this to happen, China has all the manufacturing capacity. They don't need the United States. China needs nobody. They have 1.3 billion people that can consume all the products that we were buying for those electronic blips called the U.S. dollar. The United States needs China. We did the stupidest thing. Janet Yellen was I remember her going to a discussion with her 20 years ago, telling all the bankers, oh, you have to invest in China and get China up and going. That's where the real money is. We're going to outsource our manufacturing to China and we'll do the more important work. Like what? Like what is more important than providing goods and services for your people? Oh, we'll make money in the stock market is what we'll make. That's everybody will be rich investors. Janet Yellen is a fraud, absolute fraud. So we shipped all our manufacturing to China, and now the reversal of globalization is happening very fast. They're blaming COVID. You can blame anything you want. They're going to stop sending goods to the United States of America. You're going to see hyperinflation in many places. You're going to see hyper deflation in other places. Things that you don't need are deflating in price. Things that you can't live without, food, water, power, transportation, those things are going to go through the roof. Double, triple, quadruple in a matter of months. Just be prepared for it. We've been warning this for a very long time. The end of globalization is the end of the economic monetary system. Alan Greenspan said that in a FT article a while back. He's 92 now, so he doesn't speak as fast as he used to, but the things he's done with his life, inventing the first computer programs to run the monetary system back in the 60s, and then implementing program rigging operations. I don't know what his idea was, but he cooked it up with Ayn Rand and him and Ford and Arthur Burns, the head of the Fed back in the 70s. And it was to delay. If we go off the gold standard, let's just delay it, print as much money as possible, soak up all the benefits of unbacked fiat money, build your roads, your bridges, your houses, your military, which we did, and then in the end, pull the plug. And that's where we are now. They're going to pull the plug. So make sure you get your assets in your own possession. Silver is the number one. If you have gold, swap it as fast as you can for silver. If you have gold, you probably understand what a monetary metal is. Then you should understand why silver is 100 times better as a monetary metal than gold. Number one, in my book, it's scarcity. There's just silver's just as scarce as gold. There's 6 billion ounces of each, according to Jeffrey Christian. 6 billion ounces of each. It should be a 1-to-1 ratio right now, and it's 90-to-1. So you can, if you love gold, if you're smart, you would today swap your gold for 90 ounces of silver. And then turn back when silver is freely priced and the ratio goes to 1-to-1, you can swap back just a little part of your silver riches for all the gold that you already had swapped out. So you'll end up with 10, 20, 30 times as much gold as you have right now if you make that one move. Because in a free market, silver and gold will at least be 1-to-1, at least. And you don't really need gold. Nobody really needs gold. You just stick it in a vault. What you really need is silver because it goes into you would not be able to watch this video without silver. There's silver in your computer, silver on your cell phone, silver in solar panels, electric cars. All those things for the future require the best conductor of electricity, and that is silver. And by the way, you'll be helping the cause of taking these criminal bankers out. A lot of people last night are saying, what can we do? How can we fight the bankers? Actually, it's pretty easy. If everybody in America bought 1 or 2 ounces of silver, the bankers would be done, destroyed, gone kaput. But so would your checking account, your savings account. It's a tough decision. Who's going to press that red button? I asked everybody, Who would be in favor of a banker bailout if they get in trouble again? Nobody raised their hands. And then I said, if you don't bail out the banks, you're going to lose your checking account. You're going to lose your savings account. You're going to lose your 401k. You're going to lose your life savings. Now, who would bail out the bankers? And everybody was all confused. Why? Because it's a tough decision. They have us under the gun. It's voting yourself to be financially destroyed for the good of the American people, truthfully. That's where we're headed. Get your gold and silver in hand while they're still rigging the price. Under $19 still is just insane. This is insane. This is I don't even know what to say. Look at that ratio, 90-1. That's like literally crazy. It'll probably get crazier. Wait till they put the price of gold and silver at minus $40 each. And you might be saying, what? They can't do that. Of course they can. This is just computers and derivatives determining price. They click a mouse, they can set all those prices to minus $40. They can set it to $1 million an ounce silver too. It's a fake system. It's a fake exchange run by criminals. I think there's over 200 advising companies for the precious metals trading. All the banks are advising the CFTC, the regulator, on what they have to do. CFTC... That's the regulator of gold and silver. They must be so embarrassed that they missed the rigging of JP Morgan's rigging of the markets for 8 years when we told them where. They had an investigation open on the desk of JP Morgan. They couldn't figure out how they were rigging the price. And then it took the Department of Justice to come in and shut the door on JP Morgan. Why? Because it's so much bigger than just a couple traders saying, yeah, this is what I want to do. This is governments. This is the banking elite trying to control the price of silver. So get your silver. Cryptos, same. As I said, the end of silver manipulation is going to be the biggest price move ever. Far bigger than Bitcoin ever did. Far bigger than any other investment. That's going to be the millionaire, billionaire maker. Physical silver in your own possession. All mining companies know. Get rid of them. You will lose. You will lose. They will all be nationalized. Because when the monetary system fails, there's no way anybody in Mexico would allow foreign owners of mining stocks to take the wealth out. It's just not going to happen. So yeah, I know how cheap mining stocks are. I know, oh my God, they have so much wealth on the ground. The problem is you're not going to get it. ETFs, no. Even worse, no third party should hold your assets. The governments are going to go right to the ETF warehouse and say, okay, this is ours. It's in our jurisdiction. We're going to take this big, large lump of silver at SLV, at PSLV. You name it, any of the ETF, they're going to go right to JP Morgan's warehouse and say, all right, you guys lose. Give us all the silver. And then they'll open the vaults and there's none there. It all went to Warren Buffett. Crazy days. Crazy days. If you want to help our cause and you can't make it out to the road shows, think about joining the private road. We are giving away Road to Ruta coins with every subscription. It's $2.99 for a year, less than $1 a day. Great discussions behind the scenes, and the coolest coin ever. All hand painted. This is the Ruta coin. Each one's individually numbered. 1 ounce of fine silver. That's how you can support us at Road to Ruta. Go to roadtoruta.com, click on subscribe today, and it'll give you information on how to sign up. Basically, go to PayPal and you sign up. And then you get all access to everything on the Road to Ruta. There's so much information. It's crazy. It's crazy. Anyway, this is Bix Weir. I hope to see you out on the road. Again, we'll be in Salt Lake City at the Brickyard Bar in Mill Creek, which is right next to Salt Lake City. We go from 6 o'clock to 9 at night, and it's a blast. Come visit us. They got good food, dog friendly, and it's going to be fun. This is Bix Weir, roadtoruta.com. I'll talk to you later.